So actually, why do women feel taken for granted like almost daily? And I'm going to add something to this. Why do men feel the same thing? Marriage is supposed to be harmony, love. And I tell people who come to us, reimagine your marriage. Instead of looking to solve problems, look for ways to improve your marriage so that the problems are like little things. In my first book, I wrote, marriage problems are mostly like walking and catching a little pebble in your shoe. And what happens is it drives you crazy. It increases in pain until you get rid of the problem. But I've discovered also that we have to rise above the problems. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, been doing this since 2001. And when I tell you reimagine your marriage, what I'm talking about is instead of looking for all the problems and trying to solve the problems, look for ways to make your marriage into what it's supposed to be. When you first got married because you fell in love, you wanted to be happy, you knew you would be happy. In fact, even though there's an over 50% divorce rate, you knew your marriage was going to be different, didn't you? And then what happened? What happened was we soon start taking each other for granted. Yes. In fact, in my books and in the course that I have, the online courses, I list overfamiliarity as the number one killer of marriages. Well, what do you do about that? Well, what is overfamiliarity? Overfamiliarity is it's natural to become familiar with each other. I mean, you're married after all. You know each other's secrets, you know your smells, you know your idiosyncrasies, you know everything. And if you think about it, it's kind of laughable. It's cute, unless you're the victim of your partner, of your husband or your wife being over familiar with you. And then it touches you the wrong way. What's going on here? I'm going to give you the answer, but I want you to keep in mind that this is just the way it is. This is not to blame you, but it's to explain. It's difficult for some people to hear this, so fasten your seatbelt. We are ego bound. We are. That means that what happens is, even though we're souls, and this is not a religious presentation, but we're souls, we have a body and we have a mind. And the mind is controlled either by us, the soul, or by the body. What do I mean by that? The body is comprised of trillions of cells. You know this from grade school or middle school. I don't remember where they teach it. And innate in every single cell is the drive to survive. Self-preservation is what they call it. And this drive to survive gives us filters, walls, defensive positions. And so if we feel in any way, shape, or form that we are being attacked, our reaction is fight or fly. That's oversimplistic, but it really boils down to that. Oh, what do you mean that I smell? What do you mean that I'm too loud? What do you mean that my cooking isn't great? What do you mean by this, by that? We don't listen. We react. Stored in our subconscious mind is a reaction for nearly every single thing that we hear, but it's a reaction to the negative, not the positive. We don't listen to each other. Now you may say, yeah, they never listen to me. You never listen to them either. The way to really make your marriage great, because let's go to that, because that's what really matters. And it doesn't matter what stage your marriage is at. Doesn't matter whether your marriage is just going through a little bit of rockiness or whether you're on the verge of divorce because your husband is starting to cheat on you. He's doing pornography, he's sexting, he might even be in an affair. It doesn't matter. The reason it got that way is not your fault. Now, he doesn't get away scot-free. He's got to deal with this because all of us pay for our errors. It's called karma. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. As we sow, so shall we reap. But you don't have to be the one to hold him accountable. You're married. You want to have a great marriage. It's not too late. I hate it when people say, well, what point should I give up? You shouldn't give up. Well, sometimes you have no choice, but if you are trying everything you can, but the right way, you can turn this around. Now, let's go back to the very first topic that we started talking about, where you're feeling taken for granted. Instead of allowing your mind to drag you down into the briar bush of suffering based on your being taken for granted, stop your mind and say, wait a minute. I guess I can say that about everybody takes me for granted. And if I'm going to be honest, I tend to take people for granted too. And I need to step back and focus on what? Focus on love. Love is why you got married in the first place, for that happiness. And instead of feeding into this being taken for granted business, I'm going to feed my love. So instead of going into the negative state of consciousness based on this, I'm going to ignore it. Ignore it. And you might say, yeah, it's easy for you to say. Oh, you think I'm not married? It's not easy for any of us to say. It requires an effort, but it is the right effort to achieve the right result. The result is happiness. Feeling that love again, feeling the happiness, doing what works to have a great marriage. You don't need to put up with this, but you don't solve it by confronting your husband or your wife, if that's the case, and saying, hey, I feel taken for granted. What are you going to do about it? Well, let's put it in another context. Who's feeling taken for granted? Oh, you are? Why are you feeling taken for granted? Because he's making you? No, nobody can make you feel a certain way. And you know that this is true. You know people who go through life really suffering from every little thing that happens because they take everything personally. And then there's those who don't take anything personally. And they go, okay, that's them. And that's how you do it. That's them. I love them in spite of, besides the flaws that they have. And hopefully you'll love me the same way. But even if he's not putting aside my flaws in his mind, I'm going to put aside his flaws in my mind. I'm not going to be taken for granted because I'm not going to feed into that. I'm not going to accept those feelings, those thoughts. Instead, I'm going to focus on love. It's all about love. We got married for love. We want to live in love. We want to die in love. We want love to be our life. Why? Brings happiness. Nothing brings more happiness, and nothing brings happiness with more of a guarantee attached to it. Happiness comes from love. It's that simple. So we all go, I want to be loved. What you really want is you want to be happy. I'm showing you how. You be the one to create the happiness, to create the love in your marriage, and you will experience it. And now let's take a look at some things that you can do. Your next steps, you might say, if you want to really take your marriage to the next level. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. Like the video, and please, by all means, if you have a question, put it in the comments, and I'll be happy to help you. Many people do that. And tell me why you got married. Tell me about what inspired you to be married. God bless you, and take care. Thank you. Now, if your marriage is doing okay, but you could use a little help, you can just watch these videos. It's free. Or you could read my articles. They're free. Or you could take the next step. Get one of my books. We have two books. One is Lessons for a Happy Marriage, and the other is Breaking the Cycle. And the only difference is one is a little more complicated because I wrote Breaking the Cycle for when I started to train marriage counselors into our system. Now, if your marriage is really like, oh my God, I don't know how long I could take this, then by all means, don't worry about the money. There's plans that start for less than $10 a week. get the online course. We have one for women and we have one for men. They're both spectacular. And if both of you, and it's rare, but go to our website. And if your spouse wants to sign up too, they can, but later. First, you find out what it's all about. One thing I promise you is within days or weeks at the most, you will be blown away by the amazing changes that are happening already. God bless you. And please like this video, but more importantly, subscribe so you can get this entire series of the toxins that hit your marriage. I'm Paul Friedman. God bless you and take care.